Hello and welcome to sim.bc where it is 0 mate 7:41. So it's just 22:08 in the morning. And yeah, I was thinking why not whipping out one now early in the morning so I have it done for the day. Hmm. Because I have so much to do today. Today I'm going to go up. As you can see from my dressing, I'm going to go to the gym, whip one of those sessions out quite quickly, and then try to head to school in order to study. So I will try to aim to be there at 10, be in school at 10. So I'm gonna try and leave from my home at like 9, 9:30, something like that, and arrive at school at 10, and then study from 10 to, I don't know, 1:30. And then have class from 1:30 to 16:45, and then have a short break for 15 minutes, and then have class from 5 to quarter past 8, and then eat till, I don't know, like 9, half past 10, and then try to get home. So I will be home at like half past 11. Yay! No, wait, eat half past 9, and then be home at half past 10. So it's gonna be all good. It's gonna be all great. I'm gonna go to sleep like directly when I get home again. But it's gonna be all good. It's gonna be all fine. And are the lessons going to be nice? Are they going to be easy? Well, I have the presentation today, as I've said, and I have the midterm in this evening. That's why I'm going to head over and study right now. So I thought, why not go through another like cycle today? Not a cycle like the sales cycle, but a more of a progress step by step model. So I thought, why not go through persuasion today, the 4 steps of persuasion as it is presented in our course. And it starts with, and today I'm going to present all of the steps before I go through them because I realized that it's quite hard to follow when I summarize it in the end instead of the beginning. So this persuasion is establish credibility. Um, oh my days, this midterm is going to go so well. Establish credibility is the first step. The second step is creating common ground. The third step is proving the evidence. And the fourth step is creating a emotional and human connections, let's say. But what are these really? Well, establishing credibility is basically you showing that you know what you do. So it's like your technical experience within the field, everything that, or I would say, everything that gains you in your work life. So everything that shows like your education, your work experience, how long have you been with the company, what kind of position do you have. All of these things establish credibility, and then the way that you present it to the person that you're going to talk to, the persuasion part is also very important. So how you establish two is rather establishing credibility is all about your educational and professional background, like how good are you at what you do. After the credibility establishing, you also have create common ground. And this is really important because when you're going to persuade someone, you need to have some common ground to work with. And that sounds obvious in some cases, but it's really hard to miss. Why is it really hard to miss? Well, because common ground can be a very theoretical thing. When you discuss something with someone, you might be from very different backgrounds, both cultural, professional, educational, social. You might be very different, but this person that you're going to persuade, you might buy a car from them, you need to persuade them to give you a lower price, for instance. Or you need to persuade them to vote in a certain way if you're a politician. Or you need to persuade them to believe in you. If you're a doctor, for instance, and they're laying there bleeding out, you need to persuade them that your credibility is good enough. but maybe they are like not believing in doctors or something. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe there are people that does that. So establishing common ground is basically you finding something that you both share, that you both have in common. Not like literally sharing common ground, like you're in the boat. Both are in the same physical space. Even though that's a plus too. It's easier to find common ground if you meet face to face, at least according to me, because then you can see the person, you can play out on how they're dressing, how they're talking, how they're moving, their body language, and etc. etc. But you can do this over the phone too. So that's why I mean that this is something that is more psychological than actually physical, even though the physical part helps. So create common ground. Try to find something that you guys have in common, something that you share with each other, so that you are more inclined to so that the other party is more inclined to believe you because they can identify with you in some way, in some manner, in some fashion. Now, the third step is establishing credibility, create common ground, and the third one is always so hard for me. It is, oh, I've said it before, it's not human connection, it's, oh yeah, proving the evidence. Because in today's society, it's not enough, as I've said before, that you have that you have the evidence. As I've said before, yet again, people don't believe in numbers; they believe in stories. So numbers won't persuade them at all, but stories will. So if you have the evidence, you can say that 4,000 people have done this, or 3,000 people have done that, or consensus is, or 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5, whatever, or only 1 out of 21 have failed, or something like that. But people are still going to be like, I don't care. And usually, unfortunately, if you have a semi-long report, the average person is probably not going to read it. They don't like that kind of stuff because that's work, that's school. Most people didn't enjoy school. Unfortunately, I'm the one of the lucky few that does. I really like school. No matter what I'm saying about group work and stuff, but I really like studying and education and all of that. So, you need to persuade them that you're not persuade them, but proving that your evidence is correct. So, for instance, if they are asking you, they might have a list of all the evidence that you brought in order to persuade them. So, for instance, you've met before or talked over the phone, and you've stated a lot of stuff. So maybe they've written it down, and they come to you, and they have a list of all these facts. Now you need to prove that they're correct, and that is something that I say should be easy for you to validate your own facts because they should be true to begin with. But it's also important that you, after you have met this person and created a common ground, that you perhaps play a bit off the common ground creation, that you feel like we have a common ground here. We have a common ground because we have the same language. Now use that language then in order to establish your facts, because you might, if you meet physically in the second step, you can use that in the third step in to see like, what is this person like, what will they believe in. And that's really important to understand. Now that can be very hard to understand because it is very hard to know what someone believes in, but maybe they're very explicit with it. So you can use that. It's just a tip. If it works, it works. If you are able to see something, I will advise you to use that in the third step. But anyway, the third step is all about evidence, proof, validation, so that you actually can prove what you've said. And as I said, put a story behind it, put a nice spin to it. Talk about Mike, your old colleague, who did say that or did say another thing, or oh, we had a customer who had a similar problem last week or last month, but now all their problems are washed away after a short technical introduction that only took 15 minutes. That's the only thing you need. It's not as complex as it seems, or something like that. And then you move like to prove that what you've said is actually true. Maybe you have a third party that you can rely on. All good things. Now moving over to the fourth step, creating an emotional connection. Now you have hopefully established your professional and educational background, credibility within the field, within what you're talking about. You're creating common ground with the person, so the person now trusts you and you know something about them. or maybe not trust, but they have some amount of trust in you. You know, either it be distributive, calculative, knowledge-based, or identification-based trust. All different levels of trust. Or deterrent-based. Sorry, not distribution-based. Deterrent-based trust. Just to segue into those quickly, deterrence-based trust is when the only thing that keeps your end of the bargain is that it's like laws and stuff that you can be punished for it. Calculated trust is financial gain. Knowledge trust is that you actually know someone from somewhere, and identification trust is the deepest level of commitment and trust, and that is based on that you actually know the person, you know how they're going to behave, you know what they're going to do. It takes a long time to get identification-based trust. So deterrent-based, quickly. Calculated-based trust is, you know, semi-quick. Knowledge-based trust is semi-medium to, you know, takes a while to get there, and identification-based trust takes a long way to get there. Anyway, so the create a emotional connection is because now you wanting to, you also proven your proof, validate your proof. Now you only wanting to connect with you. Oh, excuse me. Connect with you so that you actually can persuade them. And if you've done everything correctly, this is only playing off of your personality, your charm, your language, your dressing, and your body language. So I would say just keep it generally positive and focus something that they might have slipped out if they have talked about what their interests are, play on that, or if they are insecure about the persuasion to begin with because of a reason, address that. But as I would say, as I said before, play off the common ground in order to gain a emotional connection. I always think that that's beneficial. So that was everything for today. I might talk more about trust in another video, maybe tomorrow. Have a nice day, guys, because now, well, the sun isn't coming up for a very long time, and I want to go to the gym and have stuff done before, well, not before the sun comes up, but at least before 9, and now it's 5 to 8. So we're going to see how that all works out. Have a nice day, guys, and I'm going to work on my very stressful day. Bye.